I'm Alec McLennan, founder of Good Nature Organic Lawn Care. Today we're here to talk about annual weeds. It's middle of July and you're starting to see some funny looking plants on your lawn, maybe yellow flowers, different kind of weeds are popping up all over the place. We're going to talk a little bit about those. A lot of those are called summer annual weeds, and what happens is they sprout in the late spring, they kind of grow during the summer, and then they die on their own in the fall. So using a chemical to control them is not necessarily the best answer. Let's take a look. So if we look a little closely at this lawn, what we can see a bunch of annual weeds. And one thing you notice is that it's not a very thick lawn, so it's not doing a really good job of helping to prevent them. The most noticeable here is this little yellow flowered. There's a few different yellow flower annual weeds. This one happens to be black medic. Black medic it may come back every year, but it dies on its own every fall. It leaves its seed out on the soil, and then that seed is allowed to germinate again the following spring. The best way to prevent black medic is to thicken your lawn up and mow it high so that those seeds it leave behind don't get to germinate. If you look closely, we have another really feared annual weed here, which is not that noticeable at this time of year, but right there, that's the dreaded crabgrass. And in a couple months, or maybe in a month or so, this will be bigger, uglier, taking up more of the lawn, and people will be complaining about it. So what's happening, you can see if you look, there's a lot of bare soil visible here. And what that's telling you is that the grass is just not thick, and this is why you're getting all these annual weeds. Now, could you come out here with a chemical and just kill everything? Yes, you could, absolutely. But if you do that, what's going to happen? Another weed is going to fill that in. Maybe a winter annual so that it's weedy with something different next spring, or dandelions, or something else is going to fill in that area. So by spraying with chemicals, you're not really solving the problem. You're just, curing the symptom, which is the weeds. The real problem is that the grass is thin and it's not fighting off weeds. So what can you do about that? We highly recommend slice seeding, overseed with some tough grasses that you can mow high and that will help compete with the weeds. Or you can even consider doing what the neighbor across the street did here and seed with our green clover, which will actually shade the soil and help prevent other weeds. Dan, I don't know if we can look around over here, but if you look across the street, you can tell that he has a lot fewer weeds. It's a lot of clover, which is doing a good job of preventing annual weeds from sprouting because it's forming a thick mat. So the lesson is, if you have annual weeds, it means your lawn's either not thick enough or you're not mowing it high enough. So let's work on the real problem, which is the thin lawn. So seed it, thicken it up, mow it higher starting next spring, and prevent these from coming back next year. Don't necessarily have to resort to a chemical this year. Let's focus on preventing them next year.